So we're seeing how triggers from the external world are a reason for our mind to start getting into different patterns of thoughts and emotions. Let's break it down into two. Through the five senses, any object, person that we perceive triggers a thought pattern or a feeling in us. Isn't that so? Let's take an example. You see a samosa, and when you see a samosa, if you love a samosa, there's a wow triggered. Now if you get the samosa, you feel wow, there's joy and there's happiness, and there's a feeling of I want it. There's a thought that comes, oh, I would want to have this. And if you get it, then there's a feeling of joy and happiness. On the contrary, if you do not get the samosa, say for example, you have an upset tummy, or for example, you're fasting and you cannot have fried stuff, then that very samosa triggers a thought of, oh no, why today? And it creates a feeling of sadness, resentment, and oh my god, why am I missing this? Now, the samosa is a trigger for a thought pattern and a particular feeling within us. Let's see whether it's really the samosa that's causing that thought pattern and the feeling, or is it already present and it's just a trigger. Same way for a person. There's a person you like, you meet the person, and you're happy. There's a person who you resent meeting, and then there's another thought pattern that gets triggered like, oh no, and there's a feeling of resentment that comes through. Again, the person has triggered a feeling of joy and happiness, or a feeling of resentment and feeling not so good about it. All our life, we have been attributing our thought patterns and our feelings to people and object outside. But the truth is that they are just triggers that trigger an existing thought pattern or an existing feeling within us, be it a positive one or a negative one. But the connection is so close and intimate that the minute we perceive through the five senses a person, an object, or a situation, it triggers either a positive thought pattern and a subsequent positive feeling, or it triggers a negative thought pattern and a subsequent negative feeling within us. But when we look within, and that's exactly what the process of meditation is. What do we do in meditation? The first step is wherein we cut out all external objects, people and situations by going inwards, by cutting through from the five senses. We close our eyes. That's the reason why we close our eyes during meditation, and we're not interested in any external object or person or situation for some time. Now, when we disconnected through the five senses this external world, that is the time we realize that there is an internal world in parallel that's running. And what does that internal world have? That internal world has its own set of thought patterns and feelings running through, irrespective of the external objects and situations. It may associate, for example, when you sit with your eyes closed, you may have a certain thought that might get triggered through the memory of something that has been perceived through these five senses. For example, you might have met someone 10 years back, and the thought of that person might trigger a certain pattern of thoughts or feelings or emotions, be it positive or negative. Similarly, for a situation or an object. However, we've not perceived it through the senses now. It's through the past memory that the trigger has happened. Now, when we sit to meditate, many a times we get restless saying, oh, I get too many thoughts, oh, I don't feel good, or blah, blah, and we tend to open our eyes. What happened? Has just because we sat in for meditation, has a particular thought pattern been triggered or has a feeling pattern been triggered? No, it was always there. But because it was in the background, we never noticed or realized it. The external situations, the external triggers always gave us an illusion that those were the causes for a particular thought patterns or our feeling patterns. However, the minute we disconnect from those external patterns, we are able to see these internal cycles of thoughts and feelings in the purest form without any external triggers. And that is the time to be free of them. So if they're coming at that time, we are actually able to see them face to face and move beyond them. Gurudev says very beautifully, he says that it's the time during meditation that these thoughts are leaving us and going away. They're not actually coming to us. So when we sit for meditation, at that point of time, a particular thought pattern or feeling, when it comes, we don't overly attach to it. We don't start liking it too much if it's positive, and we don't start resenting it if it's negative. Just seeing a thought pattern or a feeling the way it is helps us to go beyond it and experience deeper levels of meditation. And the trick is also in the day-to-day world, we see and be aware of these triggers. What are these triggers? Who are these people, objects, or situations that trigger either a positive or a negative thought pattern in us? And then very gently, with a lot of patience, disconnect the thought pattern or the feeling from the external object or the person or situation, which is the trigger. That helps us again in the day-to-day waking state as well, observe the thought patterns and the feelings the way they are, and not get into an illusion that it's the external trigger that's causing that particular thought pattern or feeling. Of course, meditation is the best way to be able to move beyond these and see them in their purest form, and therefore a good guided meditation and a good deep meditation helps us to move beyond these patterns and experience true state of peace, bliss and joy that is our very nature.